Mm. Good morning. This is Jorge Herrera. What time is it? Let me see. Yeah, it's 11:33 Central Time. I'm talking to you from Katy, Texas, in my normal Tuesday that I adopted from a couple of months ago, and I decided to add from my presentations that I was doing on Facebook since the beginning of 2020. And why am I doing this? Because I'm trying to share, well, no, it's not trying. I'm sharing my personal growth that I decided in 2017. But what happened is when you receive something that is great, something that is big, something that is important, or you learn something that is great, it's good for nothing if you don't share it. And that's how free markets work. That's how capitalism work, like economics, because people share what they learn, what they invent, with as many people as they can, and these people pay to receive that benefit, and the more the inventor shares with or the more the person that is selling shares with, then the more money he makes. That's how capitalism work. But well, that's a little point that I decided to make, that it is not in my presentations in Facebook. But what we're talking today is about the law of design. And the law of design is important because we want to live a good life. We want to live a productive life. We want to live a significant life. We want to help as many people as we can and be happy. Because if we're miserable, what do we want to be here? Why do we want to be on earth if we are miserable? So that's why we need to design our life. Jim Rohn says that if you don't spend any time on designing your life, somebody else is going to design your life for you, and believe me, it won't be much that you get. That's basically what Jim Rohn says. I'm not quoting him exactly, but that's what he said. So it is important to design our life. Now, John Maxwell, tremendous writer, tremendous speaker. And why is he so good? Because everything that he does is based on stories. Because stories is what we remember. So he talks about that he implemented a method to analyze his past experiences of the year, and he normally did that in between Christmas and New Year's. So he spent those days analyzing what he did during the year to make corrections and implement in the next year. And that's why he's such a great person, such a big influencer. So he tells us of life lessons, and he talks about 4 life lessons. The first one is that life is simple, but it's difficult to keep it that way. And to do that, we have to implement good methods. And he says that if we want to influence people, if we want to influence leaders, we have to use systems that are personal, that can be like addressed to the specific person, no cookie cutters. So something that is personal, that is easily repeatable, and also that is easily transferable in a strategic way. So that can help us to keep our life simple, but and at the same time able to influence other people. The second point is that most people spend more time designing their parties, their trips, their vacation, than designing their life. And to be able to have a great life, we have to get involved in personal growth. That's how we can design our life. By finding out where we are, where do we want to go, and what changes are necessary to get there. That's what is needed to design our life. But again, most people spend more time designing their parties, their trips, their vacations, their careers, than designing their life. The third point is that life is not a rehearsal. Life is the moment. Life is what it is. Life is a reality. And most of us spend our time in rehearsal, practicing, but we don't actually go into life in the moment and influence and make a difference, because we spend most of our time in rehearsing. And John Maxwell relates a story from Peanuts, the caricature, the strip where what's his name? Charlie Brown is talking to Linus, and Charlie Brown says, "My life is so difficult, so complicated. It shouldn't be that way." They throw us into life without any understanding, without any preparation. So life is too confused. So Linus answered, "Well, what would you want? A warming time?" And that's how it is. Life does not give us practicing time or rehearsal time or warming time. Life is now. It is to face it and live it and work on it to be significant, make a difference, and help as many people as we can, give and get the best out of life that we can. That's that lesson. And the last lesson there is that when we are planning, he says, use the factor of 2, multiply by 2. If we think that something is going to take us so much time, then multiply that by 2. If it's going to demand certain amount of money, then multiply that by 2. If we think that we're going to use certain amount of resources or certain amount of people to challenge a project or to finish a project, then multiply that by 2. Those are the life lessons. Well, you see in my screen that I'm talking about the Master Key Experience, and there is a URL to get involved, is masterkey.vision/Jorge. The Master Key Experience is the best personal growth training that you can find, the best in the planet, and is given by Mark Januski, that with his wife, Davin. And it is fantastic because it costs only $1, and it lasts, and it can be taken only once a year because it lasts 6 months. So it is the best training on the planet because it offers you tremendous value. And then once you get the value, you get the opportunity to pay it forward, because this experience can be lived based on scholarships, and the scholarships are given. Sorry, I tried to prevent that earlier by drinking some water, but this time it caught me. So this experience is given by scholarships. So it costs only $1 because you receive a scholarship. But since you're receiving so much value, then you are also given the opportunity to pay it forward for somebody else to do it next year on a scholarship. So let's go with the rest of the lesson. So anyway, take advantage, go there, put your name on the list, go through the process to get your scholarship. So in this lesson, John Maxwell is saying that for us to design our life, we need systems, but those systems should be efficient. And for them to be efficient systems, there are several requirements. The first requirement is that it should be focused on the big picture. And that I love, because as I read that I learned in the Master Key Experience, because I was exposed to the color code system to learn about my personality, and at the same time learn about the personality of the people that I will be interacting with. Then as I read, Reds are moved by the big picture. They want to be leaders, they want to be in control. They have certain weaknesses that I'm going to talk about later on point 5 and 6. Well, it's probably just 0.5, but the fact is 0.5 helps with 0.6. Anyway, that's what is important, that this system allows for big picture. Now, the second point is that this efficient system should allow us to work around our priorities, or keep our priorities in mind. What are your priorities? Your family? Hopefully that's my priority, my family. And my spirituality also, my personal growth. And for this system to be efficient, it should allow us to prioritize our time. When are we more productive, in the morning or in the evening? So with this system, we can adjust to that. The third point is that an efficient system should allow you to measure, because everything that is measured can be improved. The same goes backwards. If you cannot measure what you're doing, how can you improve it? Because you don't know where you are. You don't know what you have. So how can you improve that? The fourth point is application. And it makes a lot of sense because earlier on, I learned that making a decision is extremely important to change our lives. We need to make decisions. But what happens is that making a decision is still not enough. There has to be application, there has to be action. Because we could decide to be better, but if we don't start to do it at one point, now, or in a couple of hours, or tomorrow, if there is no application, there's no change. Now, the point that I mentioned earlier, organization, that's the next requirement. As I read, I get to be able to see the big picture or being motivated by the big picture, but I am extremely disorganized. So an efficient system has to help me with that. And I'm using a system that helps me be present in social media by using 2 to 5 minutes only, or 3 to 5 minutes. So because this system is so good at organization, then it helps me to do that between 3 to 5 minutes, and I can influence people in social media, and I can then spend more time to be productive in other things. So that's important, organization. And at the same time, this organization is helping me, this efficient system is helping me to be consistent, because it only takes 3 to 5 minutes. If it would take half an hour, I probably would have difficulty being consistent, because life happens and maybe some of the things would be challenging that 30 minutes that it would take to do that. But since it only takes 3 to 5 minutes, then it's easier for me to be consistent. And I've been consistent up there influencing people since I took on this system for about maybe 2 years already. So, and I will be promoting this system because some changes are coming, that this system can be used free. So when people can use it free, they have nothing to lose. So they can use that. So I'm going to be promoting that when it goes into that phase that is free. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you for visiting. Be tolerant, smile, enjoy life. Subscribe to my channel. In that way, you'll be one of the first ones to receive my my videos, and you can also click on the bell. That bell allows you to get notified when I'm putting new videos. Thank you. I'll see you next week.